Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to separate your CSS file from your HTML and link your CSS from your HTML. So let's get right into it. So normally you just go to your project, wherever your project is. Then this is where my current project is. So when you click on select folder, it opens the project up. Good. Now we have our HTML. This is what we currently have, and this is how it looks in the browser. This is how it looks in the browser. Great. So now all I want to do is just to take this away and to fix it into another file, the CSS file. So in order to do that, I've copied this. Then I'm going to create a new file by coming to this new file icon. Then when I click on it, it's going to ask me for the name of the file. So I'll just name it as style.css. Okay, great. Now I have a CSS file, and I'm going to paste the CSS rule that I've copied from the HTML file. Now I have my CSS rule. But now, because we know this is a CSS file, only CSS will be written here. The style tag is no longer needed again, so we don't need that. So always remember that whenever you copy from your HTML file to your style, your CSS, remove the style tag. It's not needed there. So now when we check our page again, we see that it has lost the style. The reason is because the HTML does not have any reference to the CSS file. So how do we now let the HTML know that there is a CSS file it needs to grab some style from? We let it know by using the link tag. So when you want to write a link tag, it's a self-closing tag, and it has two attributes, but href is the most compulsory attribute. So rel is to tell the link what type of link it is. So we have rel icon, so that will be like an icon for the page. We have rel style sheet, so this is telling it that it's a CSS link that we are referring to. Then the href will be directing to the link to the CSS file that we want. So how do you know what to write here? How do you really reference it here? Now this is a cool trick that I like to do. Follow me right on this. So first thing, I'll copy the relative style for the HTML. Then also I'll copy the relative style for the CSS. You see, now that I've copied the relative style for the CSS, you see that they are both in the same folder, so that is why the two of them don't have anything in the front. So you just use the style.css directly that way. So when you compare that and use it directly in that manner, it will reference the CSS. You see. But let's say, for example, now this style is not in the same folder with the HTML file. Let me write style here as a folder. So I click on the folder icon, then I moved the style file to it. So now when I check the file, you see that it has lost the style because this is non-existent. So how do we now get the path? So you do copy relative path again. So when you do copy relative path, then for here too, you do copy relative path. So you see that compare this and this compared together, there is nothing in front of this, but there is a text in front of this style. So this is to tell you that this style.css is inside this folder. So because of that, we have to add this folder to the front. So you see, so when I now check, you see that it's accessible. So that's how to do it. So when you want to link your CSS file, the first thing is you copy the style away into a different file. When you save it in the file, then you link it in the HTML, and that's how to separate your style from your HTML. See you next time.